Hello everyone. Today marks the 32nd day of the US-led military campaign, dealing a devastating blow to Iran on a whole new level. F-22 Raptors are dominating the skies, with numerous images of them appearing recently. This is America's top stealth fighter jet. 4 have been deployed, and they are now penetrating deep into Iranian airspace as if they were the masters of the place. But in this case, the F-22 is in control. Follow me to understand more. It uses unparalleled stealth sensors to hunt down mobile missile launchers and underground command centers in real time. And this is happening while Iran's air defenses are essentially absent. Not entirely. We've seen them fire manned missiles at F-18s, and there are probably many more such manned missiles in the area. But the F-22 is the worst nightmare for any radar operator who might be trying to shoot down a bomber or any other aircraft flying around the area. The F-22 isn't just an air-to-air aircraft. They don't just have one capability. They can carry small-diameter bombs, 250-pound precision bombs, allowing a Raptor to strike 8 to 12 targets sometimes without breaking stealth mode. It just needs to drop these small-diameter bombs. The Iranian regime never anticipated this, and this may be one of the IRGC's biggest killers that hasn't been mentioned much until now. But what the F-22 will do in the future in Iran will challenge everything you've ever heard about the F-22's dominance and air superiority. But before that, let's talk about some of the hot news happening right now. President Trump declared progress in negotiations to end the war, but also threatened more violent attacks.
I think we'll make a deal with them, pretty sure. Whether it's possible, we won't.
He warns that if no deal is reached, the U.S. will retaliate by completely destroying Iran's energy infrastructure. And then there's this shocking news. President Trump says he's negotiating with a new Iranian regime. He asserts that he is conducting serious negotiations with a more reasonable new Iranian regime. And he made this statement in a message on Truth Social. And here's that message. The United States is in serious discussions with a new, more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Significant progress has been made. If for any reason an agreement is not reached soon, which will likely happen, and if the Hormuz trade route is not fully reopened, we will end our good time in Iran by completely destroying all of their power plants, oil wells, and K Island, and possibly their desalination plants, which we have deliberately left untouched. This would be in revenge for the many soldiers and others that Iran massacred and killed during the 47 years of terror under the old regime. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, as you can see, a lot is going on behind the scenes. President Trump has essentially dealt a heavy blow, telling the old regime that there is no place for them in Iran anymore. But in the last 32 days, more than 10,000 attacks have taken place, crippling Iran's air force, naval missile production, and critical infrastructure. But now it looks like a big shift in the tone of what's being said for who's ever getting these statements out of Iran. But in my opinion, the F-22s, they're making sure that Tron understands that the alternative is a lot worse, because the Raptor can basically spot and dominate anything in the entire country with its massive, powerful radar, and not just air-to-air. But wait till you hear how bad the regime is reeling from these recent strikes over the last 24 hours. Their military is now a shell of what it was. Iran's Air Force and Navy have been hammered, missile stockpiles degraded, leadership thinned out. Parliament Speaker Mohammed Ghalib rejected the U.S. 15-point proposal, but he's likely not the one who's actually in charge at this point. He claimed that the U.S. is secretly planning a ground invasion. Well, we'll see. There are forces rolling into the area, the 82nd Airborne along with the Marine Expeditionary Unit. But here's the thing that he's probably not thinking of. That ground invasion is likely not going to look, I'm hoping it doesn't look at all, like it looked in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is going to be surgical scalpels, special operations with new reports pouring in saying that special forces are flooding the area quietly behind the scenes, just prepping just in case that gladiator thumbs down is given to probably take out some of these high V-value targets of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Iranian representative also went on to brag that Iranian forces are waiting for the arrival of American troops on the ground to set them on fire and punish their regional partners forever, insisting Iran will never accept humiliation. And then the Iranian embassy in Britain piled on. They said that the coffin industry in the U.S. is about to enter a golden age. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the F-22 Raptor is up above their heads as they're getting a wee bit paranoid thinking of what that thing can do with its GBU-39 weapons that can go through a window if they want. So Iran's likely going to rely on their coastal hardened sites to try to protect the Straits of Hormuz. But the Raptor has a little something to say about that. It's got the technology to look and spot different heat signatures, different things in the earth, maybe just something that doesn't even look like it could be an underground ballistic missile site, but the Raptor's radar can pick that up. That's the strength of what that thing can do. Secretary of State Marco Rubio laid it out. He made clear the Iranian people aren't the enemy and that the major combat operations were on track to wrap up in weeks, not months. So we're seeing these fractures from within the regime. And who knows, this thing could end quickly than anybody expected, or it could go on a few more months as the objectives are achieved to prop up this new, more reasonable regime. But bottom line, F-22 Raptors, they're out there and they're prowling through the night. American air power unmatched, decimating threats, protecting the interest of whatever comes next in Iran.